Welcome to Angels Don't Lie with Jeannie Street. Jeannie is a God-based medium, owner of In Spirit Healing Studio, and new author of the book The Goddess You. Angels Don't Lie will be a show dedicated to healing and love, and we will be taking live questions. If you have a question you would like Jeannie to answer on the show, or if you would like to contact her, send your correspondence to jeannie@jeanniestreet.com or check out the website jeanniestreet.com. Now here's Jeannie Street.
I let the world down, wake up. Trouble is I never went to sleep. I climbed the nightmares in the mountains in my dreams. Oh Lord, won't you get me back with me?
Welcome and happy Tuesday. This is Angels Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jeannie Street, here on KBJB Radio. I am so excited to be here tonight, and in the studio I have two guests, not just one, but two rockin' hot guests. So tonight we're going to continue our conversation on grief and the next step, moving into courage, the healing part, the end side of grief. So with me tonight, I have two guests, like I said. One, Colleen Fairchild. Hello, Colleen.
Hi, Jeannie.
Welcome. Colleen is my dear friend for 30 some odd years and my memory keeper. We store each other's memories of raising our children and past events. So, because we forget because we're older, or we want to forget.
You're old. I'm not old.
And and Colleen works with me over at In Spirit Healing Studio. So I'm really excited that you're here to talk about courage tonight.
I'm excited too.
Yeah. And we also have GR from The Rock Show. Hello, GR.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming and joining.
It's great to be back. I'm really excited, as usual.
Yeah. And so GR is actually not here to talk about The Rock Show tonight, but to talk about his new venture, his courageous venture to teach, to kind of lead a class at In Spirit on A Course in Miracles.
You bet.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about what A Course in Miracles is and what that means for people. And, I'm excited about it. I hope you're excited about sharing your stories.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. So we have we have a change of date for the beginning of A Course in Miracles class, which was supposed to start this week, but GR had a loss in the family, so he's not going to be here. So we're going to move it just out to March 23rd, which was supposed to be slotted as the second class, but it will be the first. So you can still sign up and find out more tonight here by listening. And if you have any questions, you can call in. The number here is 646-891-5252. And you can always email me your questions to jeannie@jeanniestreet.com. So that's what we have in store for you. So I'm really excited. Also this week, on Saturday, I'm hosting a meditation with Spirit, which is going to be at 12:30 at the studio. And this is a great event. It's a place where you can come, relax, rejuvenate, and restore yourself with a guided meditation, and then receive messages from Spirit and your loved ones to help you wherever you are in your life, whatever journey you're on. So it's a lovely event, and there are tickets you can get on my website at jeanniestreet.com, and it's under a meditation with Spirit, or you can email me to sign up, and I will put your name on the list. And that's this Saturday at 12:30. Beautiful. So I'm going to turn the mic over to, I'm going to ask you questions. I won't turn it completely over to you, GR, but we'll talk about A Course in Miracles.
Sure.
And what is that? Because people are like, what is ACM? What is that? What is that thing?
A Course in Miracles is, I'm going to say in one concise sentence, that it is a way to wake up and remember who you really are, and that you are Spirit. You are one with God, and that there is no separation between you and God. And a lot of different spiritual modalities might say that and talk about everything being one, and not a non-dualistic type of concept, but this really takes it completely back to there truly is no separation between you and God. And how you know that is we are in this life that we experience with our bodies, with our senses. We come to this world with what we're going to call an ego. And the ego just basically is telling you that you are that body. You are the senses. You are the experiences that you have.
You are the fear.
You are the fear, absolutely. And so what A Course in Miracles does is it shows you in a step-by-step and a conceptual way that you are not this body. You are not the things that you experience. You really are nothing other than oneness with the ultimate being, with God.
I love that. I do, just because that's my work is based off of. It's what the angels have shown me. And I have not studied A Course in Miracles. I've picked it up several times. I have it on my iPad, and I also just recently bought the book because you're going to teach the course, and so I was like, I got to get a hardcover. I'm going to
Bless you.
Bless you.
But I think it's fascinating that I didn't read it first, and rather went the course of listening to what the angels taught me, which is exactly what you're saying. There's no separation. And I think I needed to hear that from my authentic self, to know that it came from God, it came from the divine, just because of how I work. And I love that. I just love that you're bringing it all back in and saying, yes, it's another confirmation. There is no separation. Everything is the illusion. The fear is what makes us stay in that separation.
Well, in the very introduction to the course, it states this course can be summed up very easily in that nothing unreal exists.
That line blows my mind. Let's say that again.
Okay, actually, I started with the second line. Let me give you the first line first. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Now, if what the course is going to do is going to take those statements and give you experientially the proof behind that.
So can you explain for our listeners what the course means? Because it can be daunting when you first see the book and pick it up. But can you just can you downsize it a little bit and make it?
Sure. Well, can you downsize it? No.
Well, maybe make it.
But I had to play on that word, downsize, because it is a large.
Or make it easy to understand.
The course itself is made up of 3 volumes. The first volume is the largest, and it is what's called the text, and it's all the concepts, the conceptual understanding of those statements, and that we are nothing more than oneness. But how do you go about really proving that, or stating it in a way that's understandable? So the first part of the course talks through the text, many descriptions, and it's saying the same thing over and over, many different ways. And the second part of the course is what's called the workbook, and the workbook is 365 lessons, one per day.
One per day. And it does say in the course, I remember, don't do more than one in the day.
Right. There's really only 2 rules in all of A Course in Miracles, and one of those rules is that you can take, even though there's 365, you don't have to do one per day. If you get stuck on one and you think I need to go over this some more, you can stay on it for a week, a month if you like. But the rule is you cannot do more than one per day. So, for instance, for me, when I did it about 15 years ago, I think when I got to the workbook section, it took me just over a year and a half to do a year's, the 365 lessons.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter how long it takes. It could take you 5 years if you want, but the rule is just don't do more than one per day.
And do you go back, now that you're done, you're 15 years out, do you go back to the course?
You can. Some people do. I know of groups where they take you through, starting in January. They take you through one lesson per day.
Okay.
You don't have to. I said there's 2 rules in A Course in Miracles. The second one is to be considered what's called a teacher of God, and there's a whole meaning to what teacher and student is, and we can go into that in more depth at some other time. But if you want to be what's considered a teacher of God, the only requirement is that you must have gone through the workbook at least one time, all the way through. And so, again, those are the only 2 rules in all of Course in Miracles. And I want to say too that it's not a religion. Some people think, oh, it's a religion. It looks like a Bible,
Right.
But you do think of it as Jesus speaking directly to you. Now,
It is. I'm going to interrupt you really quick. It is a channeled piece of work.
That's what I was about to say. It is a channeled work, and there's a book that I recommend everyone get if they're interested in the course called Journey Without Distance, and that describes the channeling and scribing of the course.
Okay, journey without
It's
distance.
Journey Without Distance by Robert Scutch.
Okay.
And then the subtitle is The Story Behind A Course in Miracles. So it's one of 2 books that I suggest people get when some people find, as you said, it's daunting. They start reading the book and they think, well, this is really kind of far out. I don't know if this is, for me. It takes some time for it to really sink in to understand where it's really going and that it is applicable to you. So when I suggest, when people have those feelings and they're not sure if they want to continue, I suggest read 1 or 2 of these other books, and they will help you to understand more from an experience, not from the experiential point of view of the course, because that's what the course is for.
Right.
But it'll help you understand from someone else's perspective, maybe a shortened version to understand where it came from, what it's all about, and someone else's experiences with it.
And I'm gonna suggest also Marianne Williamson's book Before Women, because I think it's a nice reflection on A Course in Miracles. She's a teacher of a course, and not traditional like where you are going. She has her own spin on it, but she offers women. And not just women, but men too. But her book, A Return to Love, speaks to the soul of women. I really believe that. And you can show the feminine side of a man, which would be really lovely too. It's just another tone.
Sure, absolutely. A Return to Love is probably the most famous book written about the course around the world, other than the course itself.
Right.
And it's interesting that.
What about Gabby's book? What about Gabrielle Bernstein's Spirit Junkie?
Yes, Spirit Junkie also. Gabrielle is also. There's teachers of the course that stick strictly to the course.
Yes.
And then there's teachers that use the course as part of their framework for what they teach, but it's not specifically just the course. So Gabrielle, Marianne, these are teachers that they're great teachers. They're great books. They don't necessarily stick solely to the course,
right.
Which is fine. Whatever. The way I look at it is that whatever is going to bring you closer
to the course,
yep. or bring really ultimately not even the course, because the course in itself will say the course is unimportant.
Right.
There is the course is just words.
Okay.
What's important is the experience that you go through that's going to bring you. That's going to heal that separation from God, because
right.
ultimately the course says there's only one problem that we have. No other problems exist. The only problem is our separation from God,
right.
And we really don't have a separation from God. So the problem is trying to wake up and understand that we don't. And I will explain it one other way. The course talks about life here as a dream, as an illusion. Now think of it. There's two analogies that I think are just perfect. Think of it as if you're asleep in bed at night and you have a dream. When you're experiencing that dream, to you, that's your reality. That's what you think is happening in your life. You know nothing other than that dream. But when you wake up, you realize, wow, that sure seemed real. But now I'm awake in my bed. That was just a dream. It was nothing more than a dream. So to make the concept of the course very simplistic, you could say, it says that our lives are just a dream and it's all an illusion. And that once we wake up, we'll realize, oh, that what I thought, all that pain and anguish I went through my whole life,
right.
None of that really even happened. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. The only thing that's real is our oneness with God.
Right.
But we need to wake up to that. And that's what the Course helps you do.
Right.
Now, I'll give you one other analogy, and that's a movie. When we go to a movie, we look at the screen and we suspend our disbelief for the time frame that we're in that movie. We look at the movie and we're looking at it like it's really happening. We try to immerse ourselves in it. We try to forget our lives, forget everything else in our lives but what's on that screen. That's what we want to do. So, but we know intellectually, we know that it's really just light coming in from a projector onto a screen. But if we really look at it from our lives, the standpoint of our lives being a movie, it's like we're here and we suspend our disbelief for the time being. But what the Course helps us do is to get back to that awakened state, to know that it is just a dream, just an illusion, and all we are is oneness with God.
Beautiful. Well, and I'm going to say again, like Gabrielle Bernstein, I wanted to bring her back into the conversation because I feel for a young person, her voice can be very helpful in guiding you to understanding what we're talking about, because she speaks from that young, hip type of fun way, and I think she's a great teacher for younger women.
Definitely, and Spirit Junkie is a great book and a great program. And I mean, Judy even went to her
masterclass, right?
Masterclass.
I know. I was so jealous that she went. Yeah, she went last summer, and I couldn't do it because I had already taken another course that I was into. So that would be something that I would definitely be interested in doing. I'm debating this year whether or not.
The good thing about that, though, is that, and I've said this before, the last time I was on the show, my spiritual journey has been my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've been on many different paths. And once I found A Course in Miracles, I realized that there were no other paths for me.
Right.
That is the path. It spoke truth to me. I mean, I grew up Catholic, and I wanted to be a priest from an early age. As I said before, until I discovered girls in baseball, then I said, okay, well, I'm gonna buck the system. I'm gonna be the first priest to get married and play Major League Baseball. Okay, so that's that. But unfortunately, that didn't happen that way. But once I found a Course in Miracles, I realized that no religion can do this for me. I have to do it for myself. I have to understand. I have to learn. I have to experience this for myself.
I think that's true with any spiritual journey. That's true
Absolutely.
for, when we talk about grief and moving through it, to have the courage and the strength and have the foundation of your faith. That has to come from within. It can't come from any four walls of a church. It can't come from another person. So we're always seeking outward. We can't get those answers. We have to be confident in self-love. We have to self-love and connect to that divine so we can do whatever it is that we need to do.
No truer words. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's fascinating, the whole work. And so I'm so excited to be hosting your course In Spirit. I really am. I think that it will touch a lot of people. And I'm hoping that we get some men. My husband's here. I'm hoping he'll maybe take the class, because I think it's something interesting. Casey over here, he's signing up, right? You're quiet tonight.
I'm definitely thinking about it.
You're quiet over there tonight.
Because I'm wondering, well, I guess I had the question, like you're talking about a year course, but how are the classes going to play out, or how does that work?
Wait, so let's back up a bit. He's not teaching you how to go through the course. This class he's teaching is an introduction to how to work with the course, an introduction to the course. So
Correct.
he's going to teach you what the course is all about. So I'll let you explain what you're going to do in your classes. It's
Sure.
4 classes?
Sure. At this point, we've set up for 4 classes,
Right.
And it's really, as we said, an introduction to the course and how to work with it. Because I mentioned before that there were 3 volumes. We talked about the first 2.
Right.
We talked about the text and then the workbook. Then the third one is the manual for teachers.
Right.
Now, each one of these volumes has a specific purpose, and I think that there's no set rule for I have to do the text first, then the workbook, then the manual. You can do it however you want. Some people do them all at the same time. You can read part of the text and do a lesson, and you can do whatever you want. You said the only rule is you can't do more than 1 lesson per day, but because it is a very large work, you'll find yourself. I found myself carrying this book around, or a different copy of this book, but for years I had it with me everywhere I went, and I read it, I reread it, I went through all the lessons. When it gives you a lesson, you don't just say, okay, well, read something and here's the lesson for the day. You take that lesson and then you apply it throughout the day, and it tells you how to apply it.
Right. So let's tell people what they're going to expect when they get there. It's a 2-hour class, so
Sure.
they're going to come to the studio either on a Thursday night, which is 6:30 to 8:30, or the same week they can come Saturday, and that will be 10 to noon, correct? Or 10:30?
10 to noon, I think that's what we said, right?
Looking at my notes. Yeah, 10 to noon. So the same class, they can either be on a Thursday or a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And how will they tell me when they come in?
What we would do is I would initially each class is going to vary a little bit from one to the other.
Yep.
But initially I would say we're going to do a meditation to start off with, and then I'm going to discuss a little bit about the course itself, some of the things that we're talking about here tonight, what the course is, and as we go further and further in that class and in the continuing classes, we'll talk about the course concepts, because the course itself has, I'm going to say, a vocabulary all of its own.
Yep.
And when I say vocabulary, they're words that you would understand, but they have a different meaning than the normal meaning we would have in our general society, whether it be a spiritual meaning or just in common usage. It has very specific, as we said, the ego, a miracle. What is a miracle? Okay, there's every word is specifically chosen. As we said, it's a channeled work, and you can think of it as being channeled directly from Jesus, and it has a very, very specific meaning to every word in the course. So
is there a requirement for the class? Do people have to buy the book, A Course in Miracles, or can they come to your class and get a printout and understand a better understanding of what it might entail before they purchase the book?
No, well, they certainly don't have. If they want to start the course, they can certainly start that on their own, and if they're doing fine with it, just continue with it. If they find that it's difficult and they're not quite sure where to turn, come to my class and I can help you with that. And we can talk about, as I said, things have their own specific meanings. We can talk about it. But as we said before, it is a very personal, it has to be done on your own. It's not
a journey, right?
It's a journey that an individual takes. I'm not going to stand up in front of the class and say, all right, we're going to do lesson number 6 and we're going to do this and we're going to do that.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. I can guide you. I can give you some information. I can help you and answer questions and whatnot. But it ultimately has to come from the individual going through the book itself.
So you're going to be the support system.
Yes.
And so these 4 classes that they can sign up for, they can come for 2 hours. They're going to get an overview. They can ask questions, and they're going to get a better understanding of what the course is.
Correct.
But they don't necessarily have to have a prerequisite. They don't have to buy the book.
There's no prerequisite.
Perfect.
I mean, in order to do the course, you have to have the
Right.
book.
But maybe they can just come.
For my class, they don't have to have the book.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. And we do not sell the book, so the book can be bought on the website of A Course in Miracles. Am I correct?
Yes, Foundation for Inner Peace.
Foundation for Inner Peace, right.
And I want to say one thing about that is, because it's a channeled work, there were interesting copyright issues way back when it was done in the 60s and 70s. So there has been a number of versions of A Course in Miracles that have come out that have not come from the original publisher.
Right.
And so I'm going to, a person is free to do whatever they want to do, but I'm going to suggest that they only purchase from Foundation for Inner Peace, or purchase the version that is published by Foundation for Inner Peace.
Perfect.
Any other version is not it's not necessarily the authorized version. I'll say
Perfect.
that.
Beautiful. And I think we're going to take this time to take a short break. I'm going to remind our listeners that they can call in. We're taking questions. And if you want to connect with your loved ones on the other side, the number is 646-891-5252. And we will be back here on Angels Don't Lie in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Angels Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jeannie Street. And in the studio tonight, I have Colleen and GR. We're rocking it out. And we were talking about A Course in Miracles, and Colleen has no time to chat, but we're going to get to you. I believe we have a caller. Do we have a caller?
Yes, I'm setting it up. It should be right now.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Is this Chris? Am I correct on that?
Yep.
Hi, Chris. How are you? Thank you for calling in.
Good.
Where are you calling from?
Willimantic.
Thank you. Do you have a question tonight?
I don't. Do I need to have a question, or can I just? It could be random, or do I have to specify a question?
Well, you can specify like why you're calling. That would be helpful.
Just feeling like it's going to be a transition time, and I was just wondering what transitions you see.
Okay. Thank you. When you first called in, the first word I got was fearful. So I'm not sure if that was pertaining to like you calling in, if that was the fearful, or if or you have fear around the energy, what's going on right now, but they're showing me fear. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I also feel like you're withdrawn a little bit. Do you understand the withdrawal? And withdrawn. Like
Maybe.
Okay.
Wintertime, I do that.
That's okay. So you like, and they're kind of showing me like you kind of pull your energy inward, and this kind of upsets your gut. This really upsets your stomach. Do you understand that? Like a lot of I get like a lot of acidic stomach around that. Do you actually have like ulcers, or like my gut is all like kind of inflamed?
No, but I feel like dairies and stuff like that, I probably am reacting a little bit too, and I don't stop it.
Yeah, it feels acidic. So
like dairy, sodas, stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I get that feeling in my gut of being acidic, it just like we're not in our alignment as well. So it's not only food, it's also the things that we're serving ourselves, which is you're serving yourself fear, and you're withdrawing, and you're keeping that within. All of those things are acidic. So to have that transition, which I know you so want, like I can feel like you want it, but you have to kind of move with it. So you have to move in a higher alignment. Does that make sense? Higher vibration?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was that blocked, but I get it.
They're showing me the time. Do you understand the time? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm getting like I'm getting also a thumbs up. And okay. This is a male figure on the other side for you. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you getting do you feel like scratchiness in your throat at all?
Right now it's the male, and he's not showing me clearly who he is, but I'm feeling like, and I feel like it's just because there's a little bit of a block for you. So we're going to work with it and see if he's going to come in stronger so I can connect with who he is. I definitely feel like he's related. He's showing me side by side, so I know he's related. I don't know if he's his father figure, but he's standing by the side. So could be brother, can be uncle.
Yeah, usually the person that is giving me the reading will get like a scratch in their throat or something like that if it is my father. He always enters that way no matter who is doing the reading. Otherwise, it's probably my brother.
Okay, that's where he's standing side by side, so that makes sense that it'd be your brother. And so, each reader will get different things, but I love that your father comes through in the scratchy throat, but then this must be your brother.
It doesn't.
He's standing side by side, so that means he's
definitely
directly
my brother
related.
then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's saying like the time is now, like the time he's kind of putting that pressure on you. Do you understand? I feel like,
yep.
Do you understand the pressure? Like he's showing me pressure cooker. I feel like you're under pressure. Pressure cooker. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I didn't feel that, but I understand what you're saying though.
Okay, perfect. Yep. And he's mentioning the drugs. Do you understand the drugs?
Yep.
Okay. It's like his way of confirming that it's him. That's what he's saying. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And also, my eyes hurt.
Yep.
My eyes hurt a lot. He's showing me my eyes, the eyes. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And this is about the time is now. Are you moving out of a relationship? Moving out? Are you?
No.
What is the moving? The moving.
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something up and coming or what.
Yeah, I don't understand what he's saying, but the moving, and he's like moving out, moving. I'm not sure what that's connected to with him. And my head hurts a lot. Like I'm getting like a lot of pressure also in my head with him. Was he? I'm not sure if he was like.
Well, actually, pressure in the head could be my uncle too.
This is your brother saying
Because
this.
he had like a bleeding.
Oh, okay.
It is. Okay.
It's your brother, and I'm feeling almost like septic, like a septic feeling, like everything's backing up and like a sour taste in my mouth. Everything just doesn't feel good. Do you understand that?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything else I can help you with? I feel like there's quite a bit of information here. I don't know about I feel like you need to kind of move in a gentler tone and not keep the stress within.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, settle down the inflammation.
No, that it makes sense because everything that you said is like something different, but it all connects. Either way, it makes sense for him.
Good. Well, I thank you so much for calling in, Chris.
And I thank you for the reading.
You're welcome. I hope you have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Beautiful. Really lovely. Lots of information for Chris. What do you have to say over there, Colleen?
I'm just thinking this is such a cool thing.
You have to kind of move forward there in the microphone.
I'm just admiring the radio show and how it all functions and being the observer in the room.
Nice, right? So, do you want to talk a little bit about courage? Because we had this nice conversation this week about courage, and I feel like it will be nice to bring that in and, bring in GR's courage to kind of work with the course and
yeah. We did. We were having one of our early morning conversations.
Early, because now that I know that you're awake early and I'm awake early, she told me the other day, I'm up at like 5:30. I go, don't tell me that. I'll call you.
And it's been a little bit earlier every time.
because Brian goes to work so early, and if I wake up, I'm like, I'll do my journaling, I'll get my stuff done, and then I'm like, I'm bored, I'm ready for the day.
Yeah. And then comes Colleen.
And then it's like 6:30, and I'm like, who's up?
Yeah, so we were just talking. I don't even know exactly about what, but it just, I think I kind of was like, I need to talk to you about courage. And just that I was really seeing it around you, that I was really admiring and honoring your courage, and felt like you needed to hear how I can see that in you.
And I didn't understand what you were talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have courage. What are you talking about? Until you used your beautiful coaching ways and explained it. And which was interesting, because I think I can own that now. I can say, you're right. I did have courage, because I've healed some of the grief. I've healed the disconnect, the separation that I've had from the divine, and going it alone. Like what I say, like I chose to go it alone for so long without divine love, and it was an isolation. And I looked outward all the time for confirmations, for love, for reassurance, for the answers, and I had them within all the time. And that's the difference. I connected with that truth. Not an easy thing to do, and it required self-love, respecting myself. And again, not something easy to do in our society, when we have judgments and we have childhood stuff and we have crazy internet stuff and people bashing each other. Self-love is not something of the norm, right? We don't normally just turn around and say, yeah, I'm gonna self-love and respect who I am and what I am.
Right. Well, I think people come often from a place of fear. Of course, it's kind of the polar opposite of what courage is, but God gives us the ability to be everything, right? That's our free will. We can be the very best and brightest, and we can, be the very worst and lowest, how we would judge it. And I think having courage to accept that we're all of those things, like me admiring your greatness and the steps that you're making to step out in your life and be your true, beautiful self doesn't lessen who I am.
Right.
And I think that that's sometimes where people, and they might not even be cognitively aware of that situation, but I think that they tend to step back and, if I'm going to be there and hold the sacred space for you to stand in your light, does that mean that I'm in the dark?
Yeah, I love that you're saying that, because that sacred space is really, it's an incredible thing when you hold sacred space for others, because that's pure love, right? You allow them to be who they need to be, no matter what that is, but not lessen yourself.
Right. Actually, what I think happens is if you allow yourself to hold the space for someone else, it gives you permission to stand in that light too. Yeah. So opposite of what people sometimes think. So I just was
right, because envy and jealousy and resentments, those are real things. Judgments, those are all things that are present. Those are all the fear that keeps us from standing in that truth,
right? The
truth of the light, right?
Yeah, and so is self-hatred and self-loathing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even jealousy. Sometimes it's just feeling like, that whole less than, or I'm not capable. I think actually when I was complimenting you on your courage, I said, I don't have courage, like that kind of courage. And you said, yes, you do. And then, later in the day, I was thinking of all the things that I've done in my life that were really courageous, And then I was thinking an interesting thought about, so I think I wrote the definition of courage down, actually. It's the state of quality. It's dark in here.
It is dark in here. Jeannie likes it to be nice.
The state of quality of the mind or spirit that enables one to face fear and confidence, resolution, and bravery. With confidence, resolution, and bravery.
Siri just went off, just so you know.
Why?
Because you said spirit, and spirit came through. Yeah.
Quiet.
Yeah.
So I had a thought. So say some people are petrified of speaking in front of a crowd or something, and then other people it comes natural to. So is the person that it comes natural to and isn't afraid before they do it, are they not courageous? Or is it only when you're stepping out, through your fear, is that a courageous move? So I just thought that was an interesting thought. Like,
right.
I don't know.
I think it's beautiful. And GR, let's have you tap in there on that courage, because you're sitting silently over there now, taking that all in.
I am actually. Some of the things that you said, actually giving me a new perspective on certain things. I'm going to say a couple things about the Course, because you talked about light and dark, and you talked about fear and love. The Course really talks about love. Nothing exists but God. Nothing exists but pure love. And it says, what is the opposite of love? Fear. But love is all-encompassing, and what is all-encompassing can really have no opposite. So what we're really saying is that fear doesn't really exist. It exists in our experience.
Right.
But remember, from a Course perspective, our experience is an illusion. So the fear really doesn't exist. Same thing with light and dark. Does dark exist? Does light exist and dark? No, dark doesn't really exist. Darkness is only the absence of light. So it's like fear is only the absence of love. So the purpose of the Course is to help you to remove the blocks from love. And that really is all that we need to do. It's another way of saying that is to realize that there is no separation between us and God, between us and love, between us and light. And speaking of courage, in relation to the Course, you asked me, well, how am I courageous in practicing the Course, studying the Course, and I thought, I'd never really thought of it that way. Just as you said about courage, it's very interesting. So I'm thinking back. As I said, I grew up in a Catholic home, very devout Catholic family, and my mom. We mentioned that I had a death in the family. That is my mother's brother. My mom passed away about 9 years ago now, and so my mom's brother David, who I want to say that was just a wonderful man and an incredible role model. And there are two people that I can trace my influences and love of God to the most influential people in my life, teaching me that God is important from a very early age, were my mother and my uncle. And so I'm going to talk about courage here in the sense that those two people were very traditional. They followed the church devoutly.
Right.
Now, I did too from an early age, but then I started to go off onto paths of my own, or different spiritual paths. Never leaving. I didn't leave the church, but yet I felt that there was something more than what the church was teaching me. So I'm going to talk about courage here, in that going down these different spiritual paths and having the courage to know that what I was doing. Now some paths are more truthful than others, and as I mentioned before, the Course in Miracles I have found to be the ultimate truth.
Right.
But I didn't know that at first, and I didn't know that with the other paths that I was on, and it did take courage
to stay the course.
To stay the course. Looking back on it now, in this conversation, I've never thought about this until just now, that it did take courage for me to continue pursuing this path, but because it spoke so much truth to me, I was able to have that courage to move forward. And so much so that when my mother was dying, she was extremely afraid to die. And she's the most loving person I ever have known in my life. Unconditional love. And she gave it to me, all my brothers and sisters, my dad. She's just such an incredible, loving woman. And yet, when it came to time for her to go back to God, what was her fear? Her fear of dying was that she thought she was going to hell. She thought she hadn't been good enough during her lifetime. Right. And I thought, Mom, you are the best person I've ever known. I don't know how you can have this fear. So I helped. I like to think that my gift to my mother during her transitionary period was I helped her with A Course in Miracles, with the principles, to help her realize that God loved her no matter what, and that she, as we mentioned before, there was no separation between her and God. Right. She did not have to have this fear of going to hell. She was not going to hell. She was going back to God.
I did my little blog post earlier, and I do it in an automatic writing, so I allow the angels to come in. And in this topic that we're talking about is what the blog post is. I wrote this sentence, or this paragraph, which I think you're going to enjoy. Here is what is truth. God says that his love for you is eternal and unconditional. He loves you the same at all times. If you're feeling less than, God loves you. If you mess up, God loves you. If you fall, God loves you.
Beautiful.
If you cheat, lie, steal, guess what? God loves you. His love is endless and always the same, steady and true.
Again, beautiful, and it's exactly what my mom was going through. She thought all of her faults during her physical existence were going to come back, and she was not going to be accepted into heaven, into God's arms.
This is a really big thing. So, in a healing world and working with clients on a day-to-day basis, what I've recognized in the sessions over and over again is that pain. And no matter what that original pain is separation. Pain is something gone wrong in the life, is a separation from that truth. And pain keeps us from being able to love completely. It makes it conditional. So we're unable to have full compassion and love without judgment for our own selves and then for another. So then it breaks up that love into little tiny pieces. It cuts it up and makes it conditional. And conditional love is fear. It's not real. And that is similar to the illusion.
Sure.
Right? Because it breaks it all apart. And that's where pain brings us. So pain, no matter if it's physical, emotional, or mental, separation from the divine can be healed. There are greater lessons to learn within pain. Pain can take us to a place of isolation and aloneness, or it can bring us to a great learning. So it's interesting.
That is beautiful. And if you look at the definition of a miracle in A Course in Miracles, what it really is a change in perception.
Exactly.
And it's a change in that perception from being fearful to
One
being love.
Little moment at a time. It's not like an overall, like, bam, it's going to happen. It's a moment by moment choosing love. Moment by moment. It's in this moment I'm going to choose love. In this moment I'm going to recognize the God light within you. So I'm going to hold that sacred space, and that's the beautiful part. That's really amazing stuff, right?
It really is.
Casey, what do you think over there? Casey, what's going on over there?
I was just thinking about the book and where I'm at in the book and the mirror.
Oh,
of
yeah.
looking in the mirror.
The mirror effect, yeah.
You know, yeah, and the self-love and
What
all
you
that
were-
stuff is kind of reminding me of that whole chapter that I'm in right now with the mirror.
Yeah, we talk about what we think about ourselves, and
Right.
what our past pains and sufferings, what we hold on to is what we mirror out, and that's what in turn comes back to us and replays. And these are the important lessons because they're painful. They're memories. There may be situations. There may be physical pain, and we stay in that rather than being able to move forward. And lessons will replay themselves over and over again in our life at different times, so we can learn and evolve higher and higher each time.
And the Goddess You definitely talks about ego and love.
Right. Absolutely. So it's a interesting, hand in hand. Course in Miracles, really fascinating, beautiful, change your life kind of pattern. And I feel like the same as my book is just a lighter version, a different version, just simple principles that you can implement into your life time and time again.
Absolutely.
To heal the separation. And so that's what it's all about. When we're one with God, when we're in that union, when we realize there's no separation, that we are divine, anything can be done.
There's no separation between you and I either. That's the other piece.
Exactly. Yep. We are all on the same level. So, that's a beautiful part. Yeah.
I just have to look at the tattoo on my arm to know that.
Recognize your soul. As part of my gift is that I can see people at their highest soul self. It's probably why I was young. I was a poor judge of character because I see everybody in their highest light and I hold them there. But it's also a great way to help me lead them to healing, because where I can see them and I can see the path that they're on and where they can go, so I can clearly guide, which is really lovely.
That's where conflict comes in, right? That's when we're not in alignment with our soul, then we're behaving in ways that aren't in alignment. That's where our conflict and our pain comes in.
Exactly. Right. We go against our own grain. Right. And I did that for years. I went against my own grain. And that's why I never understood this gift until I started to self-love and honor it, so I could evolve it. And it evolved really beautifully on its own with faith.
What's very interesting about what you just said too is that if you do go through the course, you'll notice that there are certain lessons that talk specifically about what you just said about seeing your another's highest self.
Right.
What it really comes down to is that, as might sound a little radical, but this is what it's all about, is that we really are all the Son of God, or it uses the term Son of God. You can say child of God, but because you and I are both one, but that oneness includes God, includes the light that you see. If you see the higher light of someone, you're not seeing their physical. If you look at someone and you said you don't see their their physical existence necessarily. You see the higher part of themselves, the light, the God light. That there are lessons within the course that help you to do that.
Yep.
So again, it'll be very interesting if you go through those lessons. You'll find, oh, I know I did, and there's a lot of things in here that you'll see. Oh, I do this, I do that, but it gives it to you in a framework that builds one on top of the other, and helps you to get to a higher level.
And Casey, if you see it in someone else, it's in you too, with that mirror.
For sure.
Nice. Well, I also...
Wait, did you write the love letter? Let's get that out. Everybody,
Yes, I did.
Our listeners are waiting for that.
I did write the love letter finally.
Good. Because I've had people actually email me on that and come up and ask me. And I'm like, I got to ask them.
Yes, I did. I did finish the letter.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Nice. Colleen, have you done that?
I did it. Well, I think when I took your spiritual healers course, I did. I haven't done it again since then. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. Hard to do at first.
Can you talk a little bit, because you did take that course, and I have that starting on the I believe we have it starting in May, and I offered a couple of free intros, and I'm going to do that again in April. I'll offer another free intro, but can you explain your perception of that class?
Yeah, I think it's a great support system because it's guided, so it kind of takes you on through the principles. So it's like a step-by-step, not a how-to, but like a guide, like different concepts to understand.
But it's not just about the goddess it encompasses
so much, just like
opening up spiritually, like working with your own gifts, right?
A lot about energy and feeding yourself healthy foods, and working on your relationships, and taking self-care. Big on self-care, meditation,
and it's like I think it's like a how-to course. That's how it felt when I was writing it. Basic, like how to work in your own alignment and use your gifts in whatever field of work you're doing. So you don't necessarily have to be a medium or a psychic or have abilities that way, but maybe you're an empath and maybe you want to learn how to utilize those skills to grow and evolve in your position where you are. And maybe you're untapped and you're unsure of your gifts, and this is a way to understand them, because we talk about what gifts are, how to understand them, and then we do work with energy. We do practice sessions and healing sessions. We do energy healing sessions, and
we're spiritual beings, so you don't even have to be in a spiritual line of work. I mean, I do real estate also, and I can bring my spiritual self to my real estate practice also, and make intimate connections with people, because that's what life is about for me.
And do you feel like the Spiritual Healers course was helped you to create a strong foundation for that work?
Yeah, I think it was another step in my journey. I've been a seeker for a long time at knowing there was something better out there that I could start living, and it was a great course to have at that time. So
and I'm excited because I've actually added to the course for this year. We're extending it. It was three solid months when you took it, and now I've made it 9 months. So I've extended it, so it's not as boom, boom, boom. So we have every other week, and then I've added a couple of other mini courses within the Spiritual Healers course, and one is the spiritualpreneur, the entrepreneur side of being in a spiritual business, which is a struggle for a lot of women who are spiritual and don't understand some of the necessary things in running a business. So we break it down. We break it down step by step, even writing what GR and I were talking about, a mission statement. We break it down to mission statement, and some of the legalities. We talk about business setup and checking accounts, and how to social media, and how to do things with alignment with God rather than outside, because it really does manifest in a lovely way that way. So I'm excited about adding that component.
Good, because 3 months was not long enough to process all that information.
I know, it definitely was a lot. Yeah, it was like
it was really. You have very very quick energy anyway, so you go through things pretty quickly, but it was a lot of information.
I know. It was, and that's why I was like, all right, slow it down. So
that sounds like something I'd like to take myself. And I wanted to say something about the gratitude that I have for what you do, because you're using your gifts and your talents and helping other people to bring their own gifts and talents out as well. And as we said before, I think we all agree that we're really all on one journey, and that's the journey back home, back to God.
Yep.
But yet there's many different ways that can happen. And by listening to me talk about A Course in Miracles, you might say that I'm going to say, oh, well, A Course in Miracles is the only path back to God. And if anyone ever tells you that, they're not a true Course of Miracles student, right? Because the Course will say there are many, many paths to God.
Yes.
It may claim to be one of the faster ways to awaken back to our God self, but there are many different paths. And what you're doing is you're helping people to find their own path, and then help them not only teach them spirituality, but how to use it within their whole every aspect of their lives. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
I mean, you're doing this. I mean, I'm just starting out on my teaching. This has all been a personal journey of my own now. Now I'm going to branch out and start teaching, but I'm following people like you who are already out there doing it. So thank you.
I love to hold sacred space for people because, as I said, I see them at their highest and best self. And I don't always like, somebody's choices, but I stay back and I wait, and I just wait. I wait with love, and I send prayers. And, and what I mean by that when I say I don't always like their choices is because I know what's going to serve them and what's not, which is hard, because, you know what somebody can do to move in alignment, but they have their own time frame. They have free will. So sometimes they're ready for it and sometimes they're not. So I love to be that supporter and just, hold that sacred space with no judgment, no connection to an outcome. Just when you're ready, Freddie,
Yeah,
come on over.
Absolutely.
Come on over, Colleen, when you're ready. And wow, this was an amazing show. I want to thank you both for joining me. Really incredible.
Thanks for having us.
It's been great. I've really, I wasn't sure what we were going to do tonight, and when I got here and we started talking about courage and light and everything, and it just all kind of felt great. So thank you.
All kind of rolls
awesome.
together, and I always have that faith that spirit. The angels give me the topic, and it's always going to be just beautiful as it's supposed to be. So, anyways, Casey, what do you say? Are we at a wrap?
Yeah, we went right through the second break, and everything was just so exciting. I didn't even give you the break sign.
Casey has like a permanent smile on his face tonight.
It's been a great night tonight.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank all our listeners for joining us, and I hope that if you are able to come and join me this weekend at a meditation with Spirit, and we will have a great time. You can rejuvenate yourself with a guided meditation and get your messages and hang out 12:30 and in Woodbury, Connecticut. And you can either email me at jeannie@jeanniestreet.com or go right to the website and you can purchase your ticket right there. So thank you again. And again, I know what I know because angels don't lie. We'll see you next week here on KBJB Radio. Jeannie Street out.